So today we are going to be reading Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. What's up? You've read this? That's what I was about to ask. Who's read this before? You've read this before? Or have you seen the movie? They made a movie about it. You haven't seen it? You've read the book? For sure? Right.
We actually read it with
You read it with Miss Odom? Oh, look at that. So y'all should already have some background knowledge on it. Alright, so there's some of the words in here that I want to make sure that y'all understand. So does anyone know what Australia is? Yeah, what's Australia? A city? No, not a city. What is it? Bigger. Bigger than a state. Bigger than a state. A country. Australia is a country. It's also a continent. No, it's a continent. But it's overseas, right? So in the story, he wants to talk about he wants to go live in Australia. And so if you have any questions, we're going to hold our questions to the end of the story, and then we're going to talk about it if you have any questions, okay? All right. So it's Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad by Judy. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Miss Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. He switched from back seat. At school, Miss Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. Isaiah. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
I think the castle was invisible. You couldn't see it, so there's no proof that you even actually draw it.
Well, he couldn't even see the invisible castle.
He could have just busted it with the blank and said it was
Oh, it could have been. Right. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone on the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia.
That's far.
There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week, and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered.
Teachers, this is your daily reminder. Please take attendance at this time. Thank you and goodbye.
So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones. And they can't make me wear them. But they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said please don't pick him up anymore. It was terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and then Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that, even in Australia. I know, it's an older book. All right, so what did y'all notice in the book about what was going on with Alexander? He had a bad day, right? Why was his day bad? He got soap in his eyes, right? What else happened that made it a bad day, Isaiah? You can tell me one of them. What was one of the things that made his day bad? Yeah. Yeah, so he started fighting because his brother tripped him. Yeah. So, Xander, what seemed to happen? Just what seemed to happen with everything going bad? Everything kept going wrong, right? Nothing was going his way. You'll have other ones?
He didn't even get to get his sneakers.
Yeah, he didn't even get to get his sneakers. It seemed like everything was going wrong, wasn't it?
Exactly. With 3 stripes instead they made him buy plain white ones.
Yep, everything was just going wrong. So that's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to do a cause and effect worksheet. And this is a little activity. And this is how Alexander had a very bad day. So we're going to talk about the causes and effects. So let's do an example. All right, we'll start at the beginning. All right, so I'm going to read 2 of them, and you're going to tell me if you think it's a cause or an effect. So this one says, Alexander went to sleep with gum in his mouth. Do you think that could be a cause or an effect? Like the reason why something happened? It could be a cause, right?
Because
maybe the first thing that happened.
He went to sleep with it in his mouth. And the effect was
that the first thing that happened?
So if Alexander woke up with gum in his hair, what would that be? The cause or an effect?
Effect.
effect, right? Because it's the result. It's what happened afterwards. So because this happened.
Me and Isaiah
This is the cause and this is the result. All right. We're gonna mix them up a little bit to make it more difficult for you. Because I know y'all are gonna get this. Y'all should
The
get
reason
this.
you're mixing, stop,
Leave it.
The reason you're mixing them up is that way we have to decide if it went after something or before something.
Yes. So we're gonna start before we put them in order. We're going to start with whether you think it was a cause or an effect. So this one says Alexander had no dessert at lunchtime. Do you think that was a cause or an effect?
Cause, an effect. I think it's an effect.
What do y'all think? A cause or an effect?
I think it's an
An
effect
effect?
because the cause of it was that his mom forgot to pack a dessert.
Oh, so something happened before it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put in an effect. All right, Alexander was squished in the back seat. Do you think that was a cause or an effect?
An effect.
An effect? Because something happened to lead up to that point, right? What about Alexander didn't get to sit by the window seat in the car?
Cause.
That was a cause, right?
Because
Oh.
that one matches that.
That one matches that, so we can put that right there. So the cause, what was the cause? What happened to Alexander?
He didn't get to sit by the window of the car.
And so what was the effect?
He
in that
was
case?
squished in the back seat.
He was pushed in the back seat, right? All right, how about this one? Alexander has a cavity. Do you think that's a cause or an effect?
A cause. I think it's a cause because the cause is that he has a cavity, and the effect is that he has to get it fixed.
Well, maybe. So we're gonna put in the cause pile for now.
Was the one where he had cavity before his love? Wait. I know where that one goes.
Yeah.
That,
But
that means
so we'll put it in the cause right now. We can come back and check it.
Alexander's mom forgot to pack his
Alexander's mom forgot to pack his lunch.
matches.
This is a cause or an effect?
Cause.
Cause.
The reason is because we already had the effect.
Uh-huh. Thank you. Alright, so we think that was the cause to it? So what do you think, Melissa? Do you think that one's right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm holding on to this.
Put it in, please. It's in the cause pile. Alright, this one says, Alexander told Philip, I hope you sit on a tack. Do you think that could be a cause? or an effect? Why?
Because the cause of it,
There was something happened before it?
Yeah.
What do you think, Isaiah? Do you think it was a cause or an effect? Effect? Why? Did something happen to lead up to that point? No?
Yes.
Yes. So something happened before he called him or he said, I hope you sit on a tack?
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
pushed in the mud by Phil.
No. You're right. Something happened before, but not that one. Let's keep going and see what we can find. Alexander got plain white shoes and was unhappy. Do you think that's a cause or an effect? Ooh. Why do you think it's a cause? You don't know? Why do you think it's an effect?
Because now I forgot.
You forgot? You want to come back to it?
No.
We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
Just put
Okay,
it
so
above
how about
it.
this one? Down, down, please. Thank you. So this one says Alexander has to go back to the dentist.
Effect. Because
Effect? Why?
he has a cavity in it, and then he said that he can fix it.
Because he has to get a cavity fixed. So those can match up, right?
Are we still going to keep going?
Yeah, we're almost done. All right. Philip said that Alexander was only his third best friend.
That's why. That's
So-
where he's called.
Tell me what you're thinking. A cause? Why? Because why? It happened before, right? Because then what happened after he said he was only his third best friend? What did he tell Philip?
I hope you fit on the track.
Yeah. He said, I hope you sit on the tack, right? So
that
this is the
can
cause
go
and this is the
right
effect. Great, leave it right there. Don't touch it. All right, the last one says the shoe store was out of shoes, the shoes that Alexander wanted.
That is the cause.
The cause
That
to
has
what
to be the
effect?
cause because Alexander got plain white shoes and was very
He
unhappy
was very unhappy, right?
because the shoe store was out of the shoes that Alexander got.
There you go. Okay, so those are our cause and effects. Now, leave it. So the first thing we're gonna do is now that we have all of our causes and effects, we're gonna go through and try and put them in order, okay? We're gonna put them in order of how they happened in the story.
Yeah, wait. I think
So we're gonna pair up.
I can do this entire thing.
We're gonna pair up.
Yep.
All right, so you two, y'all can take this cause and effect. This cause. Y'all take these two causes, and we're gonna decide. We're putting them together. So here's what we're gonna start with. Y'all are gonna do those two together, and y'all are gonna do these two together.
What's your name?
And then, so this is the first one. So it says Alexander went to sleep with gum in his hair. Do you think that happened? Where do you think that happened in the story?
First.
It happened first in the story, right? That was the very first thing he said, right?
Check the book. Yeah, because it says he woke up with gum in his hair.
The very first thing in the story.
It
Says he went to bed with gum in his mouth and chewed in his hair.
It says I went to sleep with gum in my mouth. And I woke up with gum in his mouth and chewing his hair.
All right, so let's see which one's gonna match up next. What do you think
Alexander
happens next?
had no dessert at lunch.
Nope.
That did not happen next.
So let's look back in the story. He talked
Feel
about
about-
cereal in the
We
morning.
don't have it. We don't have it.
No, maybe not that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
look.
car one.
The car one?
goes next.
So maybe that
So
one
the
goes
car.
next. So that one can go right there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Alexander got squished in the back seat.
And he got
couldn't
squished in the
fit
back seat. And then he drew his drawing, right?
Yeah, but we didn't have a car.
Oh, maybe
Oh, here's the Philip one. Here's the
the
Philip
Philip one?
Yeah.
Who's got the Philip one?
I
There you go.
have a
So
shoe.
maybe Philip goes
I
next.
have a shoe.
You have shoes.
So I'm pretty sure the shoes are next.
Maybe the shoes come next? All right, let's see. Who remembers, does the shoes come next?
Nope. It's the dessert.
The dessert one, right? And do you remember what the effect was of the dessert?
He didn't get any. Yeah, he didn't get one of the.
He didn't get any dessert at lunchtime.
He didn't get any sweets.
All right, and then,
And then it's the doctor. This is Dr. Fields.
yeah,
So here's one
and
doctor.
that's when he went to the dentist. So who was the dentist?
I remember doctor.
He had a cavity and had to go back to the dentist.
Hey.
All right, let's see when the last one happens. There's, he's getting pushed over,
We already know.
and then he's arguing with his brothers, and there's the shoe store. All right,
Okay. Is that
good
it?
job.